The rain hammered the stadium roof like 1,000 fists, but inside the locker room, the air was thicker, charged with the kind of silence that follows a loss you can taste. Daniel slammed his helmet against the bench, the clang echoing off the tiles, his broad shoulders heaving as he cursed under his breath. Fuck this. Fuck them all. I froze mid-towel scrub, my heart slamming harder than the thunder outside, because in that split second, his eyes locked on mine, wild and raw, and he lunged forward, grabbing my jersey like it was the only thing keeping him from drowning. That grab wasn't gentle. It yanked me off balance, my back hitting the cold metal lockers with a thud that knocked the wind out of me. Daniel's face was inches from mine, his breath hot and ragged, smelling of Gatorade and sweat-soaked desperation. The rest of the team had already shuffled out, tails between their legs after our third straight defeat, leaving just us in the dim fluorescent hum. "Sam," he growled, voice cracking like he was 13 again, not the All-American quarterback everyone worshipped. "You get it, right? You're the only one who gets it." I did get it. God, did I? We'd been through hell together since freshman orientation at Rutgers, two kids from Jersey suburbs thrown into the meat grinder of Division I football. Daniel, with his golden boy grin and arm like a cannon, was the straight arrow everyone pinned their dreams on. Me, Samuel Reyes, the quiet Latino wide receiver who hustled twice as hard for half the glory, the one who taped his ankles extra tight to hide the shakes from anxiety meds no one knew about. But in the huddles, in the late-night film sessions, it was always us, him slinging passes that I snatched out of the air like they were meant for me alone. Playful. Yeah. He'd ruffle my hair after a good route, call me Speedy Gonzalez, with that wink that made my stomach flip, but it was all brothers, all team. Until tonight. His grip tightened, fingers twisting the fabric over my chest, and I could feel the heat radiating off him, the way his body pressed in, not aggressive, but urgent, like he was testing a door he wasn't sure would open. My pulse roared in my ears, louder than the storm. I dreamed this 100 times, replayed every shoulder bump in the weight room, every shared beer on the fire escape of our off-campus house. But dreams don't smell like wet cleats and regret. Dan, man, easy, I managed, my voice a rasp, hands hovering unsure where to land, on his shoulders to push, or pull him closer. He didn't back off. Instead, his forehead dropped to mine, eyes squeezing shut as if the weight of the world was leaking out through his skin. "You think I don't see it? The way coach looks at me like I'm already benched? The scouts whispering I'm washed up after one bad knee." His words tumbled out, bitter and broken, the quarterback mask shattered. Daniel Hale, poster child for the American dream, dad a cop, mom a teacher, little sister cheering from the stands, reduced to this, unraveling in front of the guy who'd been half in love with him since the day we met. I swallowed hard, the locker room spinning a little. "You're not washed up. You're the heart of this team. We all know it." He laughed, a hollow bark that turned into a choke. "Heart? Bullshit. I'm a fraud, Sam." All flash, no fire left, and then, like the rain decided to conspire, a crack of lightning lit the room blue-white, and his lips brushed mine. Not a kiss, not quite, but a graze that sent fire straight to my veins. Accidental? Maybe. Intentional? The way he lingered, breath hitching, said otherwise. I froze, every nerve screaming yes and no and what the hell are we doing? He pulled back first, eyes wide like he'd just thrown an interception to his own team, and stumbled away, muttering, "Shit, sorry, I didn't mean," but he did. We both knew it. The door banged open then, Coach's voice booming from the hall. "Hail, Reyes, bus leaves in 5, and the moment shattered like cheap glass. Daniel bolted, grabbing his bag without a backward glance, leaving me slumped against the lockers, tasting salt that wasn't from sweat. That night, as the bus rumbled back to New Brunswick, I stared out at the blurred highway lights, replaying the almost kiss on loop. Playful Daniel, the one who'd cannonball into the pool during practice just to splash me, who'd drag me to dive bars for wing nights and bad karaoke. Straight as an arrow Daniel, who dated cheerleaders and talked trash about those fairy-ass routes, while secretly nailing every deep ball I ran. But tonight, he crossed a line, blurry and electric, and there was no uncrossing it. The next morning dawned gray and unforgiving, the kind of Jersey fall where the leaves stick to your windshield like accusations. I woke up in our shared house on Easton Avenue, the one we split with 3 other guys from the team, to the smell of burnt coffee and Daniel's voice on the phone downstairs, laughing too loud at something his sister said. Normal. Like nothing had happened. I lay there, sheets tangled around my legs, staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazy circles. My phone buzzed. A text from my ex, Marco, the one I'd left back in high school after he got too clingy. Heard about the loss. Still carrying the team? I deleted it without replying. Marco had been safe, predictable, the first guy who'd made me feel seen in a world that pretended guys like me didn't exist on the gridiron. But Daniel? He was chaos wrapped in a Letterman jacket. Downstairs, the kitchen was a war zone of protein shake spills and yesterday's pizza boxes. Daniel was at the stove, flipping eggs in nothing but gym shorts. His back a map of bruises from the game, purple blooms across his shoulder blades where he'd taken a sack that should have been mine to block. He glanced over, that grin flashing like sunlight on water. "Morning, sunshine. You look like you wrestled a linebacker in your sleep." Playful again, the line redrawn in invisible ink. I forced a laugh, grabbing a stool. "Yeah, well, someone kept me up with their drama queen routine." He winced but played it off, sliding a plate my way. "About that. Last night was fucked. The loss. Not." He trailed off, focusing on the spatula like it held state secrets. My chest tightened. "Not what? Not the way you'd almost kissed me? Not the vulnerability that made you human? Not the hero?" I poked at the eggs, appetite gone. "It's cool, Dan. We all crack sometimes, but it wasn't cool." As we ate in that loaded quiet, broken only by the sizzle of bacon, I felt the shift, like the earth had tilted a degree, and now every glance, every brush of elbows, carried weight. Practice that afternoon was brutal, coach riding us harder than a Kentucky Derby whip. We ran suicides until my quads burned like lit fuses, Daniel barking cadences from the pocket while I sprinted patterns that blurred into one endless route. He nailed every throw, laser-focused, but I caught him watching me during water breaks, eyes lingering on the sweat trickling down my neck, quick flick away when I met his gaze. Accidental? Bullshit. By the time we hit the weight room, the tension was a live wire, humming under the clank of iron. "Spot me," he said, loading the bench with plates that groaned under the bar. I nodded, positioning behind him as he lay back, grip wide. His reps were clean, grunts low and controlled. But on the last one, he pushed too hard, veins bulging in his neck, and the bar wobbled. I dove in, hands steadying it, our fingers brushing in that split-second save. He racked it with an exhale that bordered on a moan, sitting up to face me, faces too close again. Thanks, man. You're my rock. You know that. His voice was soft, almost shy, the kind of tone that didn't belong to locker room banter. I shrugged, heat crawling up my arms. Someone's gotta keep your ego from crushing you. He laughed, real this time, clapping my shoulder, lingering a beat too long. The other guys filtered in, blasting hip-hop from a Bluetooth speaker, and the moment dissolved into chaos. Trash talk, deadlifts, the familiar rhythm of team. But as I curled dumbbells in the mirror, catching our reflections side by side, I saw it, the unspoken thing blooming between us, fragile as a bruise. That night, the house was alive with post-practice unwind. Beers cracked open on the back porch, stories of glory days that felt like ancient history after our skid. Daniel held court, charming the room with tales of high school state champs, but his eyes kept drifting to me, parked on the cooler with a solo cup of whatever rotgut we had left. When the others crashed early, midterms looming like storm clouds, he sidled over, 2 fresh cans in hand. Walk with me. The air was crisp, stars punching through the city haze, and we wandered down the block to the old Raritan River path, footsteps crunching leaves. We didn't talk about the game or the almost kiss. Instead, it was fragments, his fear of the draft snub, my mom's latest guilt trip call from Newark about making something of yourself beyond bruises. The river murmured beside us, black and glossy under the moon, and when he stopped to skip a stone, failing spectacularly, splashing us both, he turned with that boyish sheepishness. Sam, last night, I wasn't thinking, but you're different. You see me, not the jersey. My throat closed up. Different how? As a friend? A safety net? Or something more? Something that scared him shitless because it didn't fit the script? I wanted to grab him, kiss him properly under that indifferent moon, tell him I'd been seeing him, really seeing for years. But fear's a hell of a goalie. Yeah, I said instead, voice steady as I could make it. I see you, Dan. He nodded, like that settled it, and we walked back in silence, the line between us thinner than ever, vibrating with what-ifs. The week blurred into a grind. Film study marathons where his knee taped fresh every session, my routes sharpening to scalpels under his throws. Off-field, the playfulness amped up, him stealing my headphones during runs, blasting country anthems I pretended to hate, me retaliating by hiding his keys, drawing out chases that ended in breathless tackles on the living room rug. The housemates ribbed us, "Get a room, lovebirds," and we'd laugh it off, but each joke landed like a blindside hit. Friday brought the away game at Penn State, a night game under those massive lights that turn grown men into gladiators. We flew up, the bus a rolling frat house of hype, Daniel leading chants that had us pounding seats like war drums. Pre-game, in the visitor's locker, he pulled me aside into a utility closet, brooms and mop buckets witnesses to his whisper. "This one's for us, Reyes. You and me against the world." His hand on my bicep, squeeze firm, eyes burning with that fire I'd missed. I nodded, throat tight, and we exploded onto the field, the crowd a roaring sea. The game was a bloodbath, hits that echoed like gunshots, fumbles greased by mud. Daniel orchestrated drives like a maestro, but Penn State's D-line was a wall of wolves. Late third quarter, I burned their corner on a post, hauling in a 40-yard bomb that put us in the red zone. Touchdown on the next play, his fade to me in the end zone, perfect spiral, my leap defying gravity. The stadium erupted, but in the huddle after, his helmet bump to mine lingered, glove to my face mask in a grip that said more than cheers. We stole it 24-21 on a last-second field goal. The bus ride home a euphoric blur of high fives and shitty gas station burritos. Back at the house past midnight, the team scattered to parties, but Daniel cornered me in the kitchen. Roof, it was our spot, the flat tar expanse overlooking New Brunswick's neon sprawl. String lights we'd rigged last summer flickering like fireflies. We climbed up with a six-pack. The city hum a distant lullaby. He cracked a beer, foam spilling over his knuckles, and leaned on the ledge. That catch, Sam, saved my ass. You're unreal out there. Praise from him always hit different, warm as whiskey. I clinked my can to his. Team effort. Your throw was money, quiet stretched, comfortable but edged, until he set his drink down, turning to face me fully. Moonlight carved shadows on his jaw, made his eyes look haunted. What if it's more than the field? What if? I don't know, man. This thing between us, my heart jackhammered. This thing. The word hung, heavy with promise and peril. I set my beer aside, stepping closer, close enough to smell his soap, the faint leather of his jacket. Dan, if you're asking what I think, but he cut me off, not with words, but motion, his hand cupping my neck, thumb tracing my jaw, pulling me in. The kiss wasn't tentative this time. It was hunger, all teeth and tongue and the pent-up storm of unspoken years. I kissed back fierce, hands fisting his shirt, the world narrowing to the taste of him, beer bitter, alive. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, his laugh shaky. Holy shit. That was, yeah, I breathed, dizzy. That was, for a moment, it was perfect, the rooftop our kingdom, the line not just crossed but erased. But as we sank to the blanket we'd tossed down, his body warm and willing against mine, I felt the undercurrent, the fear in his tightening grip, the straight world waiting to reclaim him. Little did I know, betrayal was already warming up on the sidelines. The rooftop became our secret, a fragile bubble we poked at night after night. After that first kiss, Daniel didn't pull back, he leaned in harder, like a guy starved who'd just found the buffet. Mornings started with stolen touches in the shower lineup, his pinky hooking mine under the spray while coach droned warm-ups. Afternoons bled into study sessions in his room, door cracked just enough for deniability, textbooks forgotten as we mapped each other's skin with hands that trembled less each time. This doesn't change anything, he'd murmur against my collarbone, even as his body said the opposite. And I'd nod, because denial was our love language, fluent and fluent. But America doesn't do secrets well. Not in a college town where walls have ears and Instagram stories last forever. Rutgers buzzed with post-win high, tailgates spilling into streets, frat houses pulsing like hearts on steroids. We played it cool. Daniel arm in arm with a sorority girl at the Thirsty Thursday kegger, me flirting harmlessly with a poli-sci major who thought my receiver hands meant musician fingers. But eyes followed. Teammates with smirks that lingered too long. Whispers in the weight room about Hale's new shadow. I brushed it off as paranoia, The anxiety that had dogged me since coming out to my mom at 17. Her hug tight but her silence deafening after. One crisp Saturday, pre-game against Michigan State, Daniel dragged me to the Delaware Water Gap for mental reset. We ditched practice excuses, sick aunt, flat tire, and hit the road in his beat-up Ford pickup. Windows down, Bruce Springsteen wailing about Born to Run ghosts. The drive was therapy, highways unspooling like veins, Jersey pines giving way to Pennsylvania's rugged bite. At the trailhead, we hiked the Appalachian Path, packs light with sandwiches and the kind of hope that feels invincible at 21. The overlook hit like a revelation, valley sprawling endless, river snaking silver below, hawks wheeling on thermals. Daniel dropped his bag, whooping as he spun me into a hug that lifted my feet off the dirt. Look at this, Sam. We're kings up here. His joy was infectious, unfiltered, the quarterback armor shed. We ate perched on a boulder, knees knocking, trading bites of turkey club like it was foreplay. Remember that state final senior year? He said, mouth full. You juked that safety like he was standing still. I knew then you were it. I swallowed, warmth spreading. You threw it where only I could catch it. Trust like that? Rare. Our eyes met, and the air thickened, charged with the fall's distant roar. He set his sandwich aside, hand finding my thigh, casual at first, then deliberate, tracing seams in my jeans. Trust. Yeah. That's what this is. The kiss started slow, exploratory, tasting of mustard and mountain air, but escalated fast. Me straddling his lap, his hands under my shirt mapping ribs, the rock edge biting my knees. We didn't go all the way, not there, not yet, but the friction, the gasps echoing off cliffs, felt like claiming territory no scout could map. Driving back, sunset painting the cab orange. He was quiet, fingers drumming the wheel. What are we doing, Sam? It's messing with my head. Fear flickered, but I quashed it. We're winning. On and off the field. He squeezed my knee, gnawed tight. Yeah. Winning, but the seed of doubt sprouted, invisible roots twisting. The game was a rout, us 42, them 14, Daniel dissecting their secondary like a surgeon, me feasting on slants and screens. Post-game presser, he fielded questions with that hail charm, crediting my boy Reyes for the chemistry. Reporters chuckled, missing the double entendre that made my neck heat. Locker room euphoria. Champagne showers, non-alcoholic, coach's rule. Slaps on bare backs. But as steam filled the air, Daniel's gaze snagged mine across the benches. Dark promise that had me dressing quick, heart racing. We snuck out to a dive-off campus. The rusty nail, neon sign buzzing like a hive. It was our spot, sticky booths, jukebox stocked with Springsteen and Bon Jovi, bartender who didn't card. Over wings and pitchers, the high lingered, him recounting my TD grab, me teasing his 2-minute drill fumble, a rare miss. Alcohol loosened tongues. He confessed the scout call from the Giants, the pressure like a vice. I admitted the scholarship panic, the fear of flunking out into Dad's factory life in Patterson. Vulnerability bonded us tighter, his foot hooking mine under the table, anchor in the din. Stumbling home at last call, the streets empty save for cop cars prowling. We collapsed on his bed, clothes half shed in the hall, laughter dying into moans. It was our first full night, bodies sinking like routes run 1,000 times, his whispers reverent. God, Sam, you feel cut off by gasps. Afterward, tangled in sheets that smelled of us, he traced my tattoos, the Virgin of Guadalupe on my shoulder, inked for Mom with a finger soft as prayer. You're beautiful. You know that. Straight Daniel wouldn't say that. This Daniel, mine, did. But dawn brought reality's bite. His phone blew up, texts from his ex, Brittany, the blonde who'd transferred out but lingered like a bad hit. Miss you, baby. Home for Thanksgiving? He silenced it, but the mood soured. It's nothing, he muttered, rolling away. I pressed close, arm over his waist. Talk to me. Silence stretched. Then, she wants back in. Says I'm going through a phase. Phase. The word landed like a sack, knocking breath from me. And you, he turned, eyes stormy. I don't know. This you, it's real. But the team, the draft. What if they find out? Fear, raw and American dream crushing. I kissed his temple. We face it together. He nodded, but the doubt lingered, a shadow on the sun. Midterms hit like a blitz, cramming sessions turning our house into a warren of Red Bulls and highlighter stains. Daniel aced his econ. I scraped by in bio, but the real test was navigating us. We stole moments, quickies in the laundry room, hands muffled by thumping dryers, slow dances in the kitchen at 2 a.m., his chin on my shoulder to Adele crooning from his phone. Playful evolved, him leaving notes in my cleats. Catch this. Me sketching dumb cartoons of him as a superhero on napkins. But cracks spiderwebbed. At a team bonding bonfire down the shore, Belmar beaches, salt air thick with bonfire smoke, things tipped. Daniel got hammered on Esmores and Fireball, the firelight gilding his laugh as he arm-wrestled linebackers. I hung back, nursing a beer, chatting with Jamal, our corner who I'd come out to last spring. You and QB seem tight, Jamal said, eyebrow arched. Tighter than tight, I replied, half joking. He clapped my back. Good for you, man. Just watch the splash. Daniel staggered over then, slinging an arm around me. Too loose, too public. My boy's the MVP, slurred affection. But the team hooted. One asshole lineman yelling. Hale's got a man crush. Laughter rippled, edged with something sharper. Daniel played it off, chugging more. But later, by the waves, he rounded on me. You tell Jamal? Accusation laced his breath. What? No, he guessed. Panic flashed. Shit, Sam. We can't. If it gets out. I grabbed his shirt. Then what? We hide forever. He yanked free, stumbling into the surf. Back turned. Maybe we should. The fight simmered on the drive home. Radio silent. Tension thick as fog. He crashed on the couch. I lay awake, ceiling mocking me. Betrayal's first whisper. Not from him, but the world we'd built on borrowed time. Monday practice was hell. Coach sensing the fracture, drilling us till vomitus. Daniel's throws sailed wild. Mine dropped balls like butterfingers. Halftime water break. He cornered me in the tunnel. I'm sorry. Last night was the booze talking, but his eyes begged forgiveness, hand brushing mine hidden. I know, I said, pulling him into a shadowed hug. Quick, fierce. We're good, lies, but necessary. The pivot came midweek. A party at Sigma Chi, thumping bass and red cups flowing like the Nile. Daniel arrived with Brittany on his arm, her in that sorority sweater, him in denial's best suit. My stomach knotted as I watched from the keg line, her giggling at his jokes, his arm casual around her waist. Playful Daniel, performing for the crowd. I downed a shot, burning the ache, and lost myself in the dance floor crush, bodies grinding, lights strobing. He found me eventually, pulling me into a bathroom stall, door locked with a click. "What the fuck, Dan?" I hissed, but his mouth crashed mine, desperate, tasting of vodka and regret. "Couldn't stay away," he gasped, hands everywhere, the music muffling our frenzy. It was reckless, door rattling from bass, laughter outside, but that's what made it electric. We emerged flushed, him rejoining Brittany like nothing, me slipping out for air. On the porch, Jamal lit a joint, offering a hit. "Rough night," I exhaled smoke, coughing truth. "Yeah. Real rough," he nodded, wise beyond years. "Love's a motherfucker, especially when it's half in the closet." I stared at the stars, bruised. "He'll come around." Jamal's pity smile said otherwise. The betrayal brewed that weekend, game against Indiana looming. Daniel ghosted, texts unread, study group excuses flimsy as tissue. I threw myself into routes, tape spinning in the film room, but the plays blurred with his absence. Housemates noticed. "Where's your shadow?" I'd shrug, masking the hollow. Friday night, eve of travel, I found him on the roof alone, staring at the city like it owed him answers. "Brittany?" I asked, sitting beside. He nodded, defeated. "She's safe. Normal. This us, it's a grenade, Sam." One pull, everything blows, heart fracturing. I touched his hand. "I'm not a grenade. I'm your teammate. Your friend, lover." The word stuck. He pulled away, voice breaking. "I can't. Not now. The draft, the team, it's all I have." The line recrossed, this time into no man's land. I stood, cold wind whipping. "Then blow it up without me." Door slammed behind me, the echo louder than any stadium roar. The Indiana game dawned brutal. Drizzle turning the field to slop, stands a sea of crimson booze. Without Daniel's rhythm, I was adrift, routes run blind, passes sailing into mud puddles. He force-fed the ball to backups, his arm mechanical, eyes avoiding mine in every huddle. Coach screamed formations, but the real disconnect was us, chemistry curdled to static. Final score, 28-10. Our skid extended, locker room a tomb of soaked jerseys and slumped postures. On the flight home, cramped charter, turbulence mirroring my gut, Daniel slid into the seat beside me, headphones in, pretending sleep. I stared out at clouds, replaying the roof fight on toxic loop. Brittany's texts lit his screen. "Proud of you, babe XX. Safe. Normal." The words mocked, a reminder that our stolen nights were detours, not the road. I jabbed his arm. "We gotta talk." He pulled an earbud, sigh heavy. "Not here," but his knee pressed mine. Apology in the contact. Back in New Brunswick, the house felt haunted, echoes of laughter where silence reigned. I crashed early, dreams fractured. His kiss morphing to her lipstick, my hands pushing him away into void. Morning brought hangover haze and a knock. "Mom." Surprise visit from Newark. arms full of tamales and worry. Mijo, you look thin. What's eating you? Her eyes, sharp as ever, saw through the smiles. Over coffee, I cracked. The team woes, the pressure, him vague on details, but enough for her to pull me into a hug scented with lavender and home. Love's not a game, Samuel. It's the only win that matters. Wisdom from the woman who'd buried Dad young, raised me solo on nurse shifts and sheer will. Daniel slunk in mid-afternoon, reeking of regret and diner fries. Mom sized him up, that mom radar pinging. You must be the famous quarterback. Charm on. He flashed the grin. Guilty. Mrs. Reyes, these smell amazing. Mind if I steal one? She laughed, waving him to sit, and just like that, the kitchen thawed. Stories swapped, her tales of Puerto Rican fiestas clashing with his Irish-Italian clan lore. Watching him easy, animated, I ached. This was the Daniel I loved. Real, unarmored. But post-mom, alone in the hall, he cornered me. She's cool. Like you. Tentative bridge. I crossed arms. Yeah? Then why the radio silence? Guilt shadowed his face. Scared shitless. Brittany cornered me. Said she heard rumors. Teammates talking. Rumors. The word chilled. So you hide with her? Bite sharper than intended. He flinched. Trying to fix it. Make it normal. Normal. Again. I laughed. Bitter. Normal's a cage. Dan. For both of us. He grabbed my wrist, pulse jumping under his thumb. Don't. I need you as a friend. At least. Friend. The demotion stung. Friends don't kiss like that. His eyes pleaded. Please, Sam. One game at a time. I yanked free, storming upstairs, door locking the fracture wider. The next weeks were limbo, practices cordial, throws crisp but soulless, off-field, a minefield of avoidance. He'd text late-night apologies, miss our spot, but dawn brought distance. Brittany's Insta stories a parade of couple goals. I drowned in routine gym grind, study groups with Jamal who became confessor, his I got you a lifeline, pickup games at the rec center where I channeled rage into impossible one-handers. Climax brewed at homecoming, biggest crowd of the season, alumni flooding the banks, air electric with redemption hype. Pre-game, Daniel pulled the team into a circle, voice steady. This is ours. Fight for it. His eyes flicked to me. Flicker of us, and I nodded. Fire reignited. The game was symphony. First quarter, his screen passed to me for 25 yards, stiff-arming a safety into next week. Crowd roared. Rooters. Rooters. Second half. Down 14. We clawed back. My slant for a TD. His bootleg scramble sealing the 2-point. Final. 31-27. Victory sweeter than sex. Field storming chaos. Confetti rain. Cheerleaders mobbing. But Daniel found me in the scrum. Helmet off. Hair matted. Pulling me into a bear hug that crushed air from lungs. We did it, he yelled over din, lips brushing my ear. Accidental? No. The team hooped around us, oblivious, and for a heartbeat, it was just us, champions entwined. But victory's high crashes hard. After party at the house, kegs tapped, bass thumping, bodies packed wall to wall. I nursed a beer in the corner, basking in rare glory, When Brittany sauntered in, arm looped through Daniel's, her laugh a siren cutting through. He met my eyes over her head, apology etched, but didn't break free. Betrayal, sharp as a cleat spike, he'd chosen the facade. Again. Jamal found me outside, chain smoking on the stoop. Saw that. Want me to deck him? Loyalty warmed, but I waved it off. Nah. His loss. We talked till stars wheeled. Jamal's coming out war stories. My fears of losing the game I loved. Football's not the dream, he said. You are. Find your play. Wisdom stuck. A seed in barren soil. Mid-party. Chaos peaked. A pledge puked on the rug. Music cut for a chug contest. Daniel vanished into the fray, but I slipped upstairs, needing air. His room door ajar, voices spilling, his low and tense, hers shrill. Heard you too. What's going on? Danny? That hug after the game. Everyone's talking. Silence. Then his deflection. Brothers being bros. Brit. You're imagining shit. Like. Bald and brutal. I froze in shadow. Heart splintering. Prove it. Then, she challenged. Rustle of clothes. A zipper, my cue to bolt. Stairs taken two at a time. While rising. Outside. Rain slicked the street, mirroring tears I wouldn't shed. Jamal chased me down. Crash at mine. I nodded, numb. His apartment off campus was sanctuary. Futon soft. Fridge stocked with leftovers. No ghosts. We crashed watching old games. Commentary turning to rants on queer icons in sports, Jason Collins, Robbie Rogers. Your time's coming, he said. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of fields where Daniel ran the wrong way. Morning brought hangover and resolve. I texted Daniel, we need to end this. For real. No reply till noon. Meet at the river. Please. Dread coiled. But I went Raritan path. Autumn leaves carpeting like confetti from a funeral. He waited on our bench. Put up. Looking smaller than the quarterback legend. Heard you left early. Evasive. I sat. Space between us a chasm. Overheard more than that. Brothers being bros? Classy. He winced. Rubbing neck. Brittany's pushing wedding talk. Her parents. The optics. I panicked. Optics. The draft dream. The all-American facade. So I'm the panic? The thing to bury. Voice cracked. Emotion raw. He reached. But I dodged. Sam. I love. The word hung. Grenade pin pulled. Don't. You don't get to say that then run to her. Tears hot. Unbidden. He broke then. Shoulders shaking. I do love you. That's the problem. This world's not built for us, not yet. Confession cracked me open. Anger yielding to ache. We talked, really talked, for hours. His closet terrors since high school crushes confused him. My exhaustion from half-lives. The river rushed on. Indifferent witness. What now? I asked. Spent. He took my hand. Tentative. Fight for it? No more hiding. Hope flickered. Fragile. I squeezed back. Okay. But one slip. Dan. And I'm out. Reprieve was tentative. Lunches grabbed between classes. His thumb brushing mine under cafe tables. Practice intensity renewed. Our sync a quiet rebellion. Brittany faded. Texts ignored. A mutual drift story fed to friends. Rumors swirled. But winds buried them. Back-to-back shutouts. Scouts circling like vultures. Thanksgiving loomed. Families pulling. Mom invited him to Newark, tamales and turkey. My tia grilling him on prospects. He came, nervous in a button-down, charming her with tales of my game-saving grabs. After pie, in the backyard under string lights, he kissed me proper, soft, grateful, the city skyline winking approval. "This feels right," he whispered. I believed him then. But betrayal's shadow lengthened slow. December chill brought bowl eligibility pressure, practices bleeding into dark. One night, post-film, he lingered in the AV room, projector humming ghosts of plays. "Wanna grab food?" Routine-esque. I nodded, but his phone buzzed. Scout from Dallas. Urgent meet. Rain check. Disappointment stung, but I shrugged. Go kill it. He didn't come home that night. Text at 3 a.m. Crashed at hotel. Big news tomorrow. Big news. Heart sank. But morning brought headlines. Rutgers QB hail. Eyes on NFL. But family first. Article buried the lead. A photo of him and Brittany at a charity gala. Her hand on his arm. Caption gushing power couple. Gala? The scout meet was cover. He'd played me. Again. Rage boiled as I stormed practice. Helmet slamming bench. Teammates scattered. Sensing storm. Coach pulled me. Reyes. Focus or sit. I ran routes till vision blurred. Every catch a fuck you to the air. Daniel arrived late. Eyes down. Throwing wobbles I had to bail on. Halftime. Tunnel showdown. Gala? With her. Voice low. Lethal. He paled. PR thing. Agent set it up. Optics for the draft. Optics again. The coward's crutch. Fuck your optics. I'm done being the side hustle. He grabbed my arm. Desperate. Sam. Wait, I had to. They ask about my girl. The image. The word detonated. I shoved him off. Hard enough to stagger. Your image can suck it. We're over. Stormed out. Cleats echoing like gunshots. The line not crossed but severed. The benching came swift. Coach's clipboard cracked over his knee in the next game prep. My focus fractured like safety glass. Reyes, you run like you're chasing ghosts. Ghosts. Daniel's cologne on my pillow. His laugh in empty rooms. I pushed harder. Veins popping on every sprint. But the spark was snuffed. Off-field. Isolation set in. Jamal's invites to bars ignored. Mom's calls dodged with busy lies. The house was minefield. Daniel's door shut. His truck absent more nights than not. Brittany's perfume a phantom haunt. Christmas break fractured us further. I fled to Newark. Mom's apartment a cocoon of empanadas and telenovelas. Tia's gossip a bomb. But solitude bred rumination. Scrolls through old texts. His miss you from October now poison. New Year's Eve. Block party fireworks exploding over the Hudson. I got drunk on rum punch. Kissing a stranger at midnight, tall, bearded artist type who whispered poetry in my ear. Empty calories, but it dulled the edge. Daniel's texts trickled. Happy holidays. Thinking of you. Blocked. Then voicemails. Voice raw. Sam. I fucked up. Call me. Deleted. The draft buzz crescendoed, mock drafts slotting him mid-round. Character guy with stability. Read, Brittany. I hated him. Loved him. The cocktail toxic. Spring semester slammed in. Bowl game secured. Citrus Bowl against Oregon. Florida Sun a mocking paradise. Practices amped new routes, since chemistry with Daniel was radioactive. He tried bridges, coffees for old times, eyes pleading over lattes. I'm ending it with her, for real, words, weightless. I walked each time, resolve stealing. But the team needed mending. Captain's dinner, steakhouse off campus. Coach's treat, forced proximity. Table banter flowed, but under it, tension hummed. Daniel beside me, knee brushing accidental on purpose. His whisper, one chance, I forked steak, silent. Later, valet wait, he cornered, I get it. But the bowl, for the team. Always the shield. Play your game. Hail. I'll play mine. The flight to Orlando was purgatory. Seats apart, but turbulence conspired, strapping us shoulder to shoulder in panic. His hand found mine under the armrest, grip vice-tight. Scared of flying? I muttered. Scared of losing you. Honesty cracked armor. I didn't pull away, the hold a tether through bumps. Orlando hit like fever dream. Disney sprawl, palm trees swaying mock tropical. Team hotel a buzz of hype. Walkthroughs crisp, but nights crawled me rooming with Jamal, binging Netflix to drown insomnia. Daniel, whispers said, sneaking calls to her, mending fences. Bowl eve, media day, flashes popping, mics thrusting questions. Daniel fielded with polish, excited to cap the season strong. But when they turned to me, Reyes, chemistry with Hale seems off. Any drama? I smiled. Lie smooth, all good. We're brothers. That night, pre-game jitters electric. The team piled into a suite for pasta and predictions. Laughter loosened, war stories flowing like Chianti. Daniel caught my eye across the circle, toast raised, to the guys who make it magic. Magic. Our code. Clinked, throat tight. Game day dawned brutal humid. Stadium a cauldron of orange and scarlet. Kickoff whistle pierced. And we exploded first drive. Daniel's slant to me. Clean grab. 15 yards. Crowds roar a drug. But Oregon countered. Their pass rush a blender. Second quarter. Sack on him, helmet pop. Him slow to rise. My heart stopping. He waved off trainers. Back in pocket. But throws wobbled. Halftime. Down 14-10. Locker thunderous. Coach diagrammed adjustments. But Daniel pulled me aside. Eyes wild. Your route on the next, fake the drag. Hit the post. Synced. Like old times. Third quarter miracle. My post burner for 60 yards. His throw threading needles. TD spike. Us colliding in end zone. Hug fierce under goalpost lights. Momentum shifted. We clawed to 24-21 lead. But fourth quarter. Clock ticking under 2 minutes. Oregon tied it. Final drive. Our 20. 1:30 left. Huddle. Daniel's cadence steady. Red 82. On set. First play, handoff gain. Second, my out route. First down. Sweat stung eyes. Legs jelly. But his voice cut through. One more. Reyes, go. Deep ball. 50 yards downfield. Defenders converging. But I elevated. Ball nestling perfect. Touchdown as time expired. 31-28. Bowl win. Confetti apocalypse. Teammates piling like avalanche. Field heart pounding. Medics swarming Daniel's knee, tweaked in the scramble. But he limped to me, arms open. "You did it," he gasped, hug crushing. Cameras flashed. Headlines brewing. Reyes redemption. But in the chaos, his whisper, "We did it." Us. Locker euphoria. Ice baths. Beer sprays. Contraband. Coach's speech choking on pride. Daniel cornered me in the training room. Door shut. Ice packs forgotten. That was you saving me. Again. Vulnerability raw. Knee braced. Face alight. I cupped his jaw. Thumb tracing stubble. Not saved yet. Kiss ignited, slow burn to inferno. The room steaming with more than showers. We didn't care. Hands reclaiming. Apologies in every touch. "I ended it," he breathed. "Brittany done. For this. For you." Elation surged, but caution tempered. "Prove it." He nodded. Fierce. Every day. Post-bowl high carried home. Parade down Albany Street. Mayor's Key. Local news fawning. Off-season beckoned. Pro tryouts for him. Grad school apps for me, communications. Maybe sports psych. We rebuilt deliberate mornings at the Y. Laps sinking strokes. Evenings on the roof. Beers swapped for talks. His therapy sessions coming out to a counselor. Seismic. My writing journal filling with our story. Raw and redemptive. But America tests lovers like lab rats. May brought the NFL Combine invite. Daniel jetting to Indy. Suits and stops. Texts daily. 40 time killed it. Miss your spot. I watched streams. Pride swelling. Returnee Daniel was changed. Leaner. Surer. Brittany's ghost exorcised. He crashed my shift at the campus cafe. Apron on. Steaming lattes. Surprising with flowers, daisies. For new beginnings. Housemates catcalled. Jamal fist bumped. 'Bout time. QB. Summer internship landed me at ESPN affiliate in NYC. Glorified gopher. But subway rides to Midtown beat Jersey stagnation. Daniel trained at a facility in Piscataway. Drives sinking weekends. Coney Island hot dogs. His hand in mine under boardwalk shadows. Draft night soon, he'd say. Anxiety threading. What if, I'd shut it, you'll shine. We both will. June heat wave tested. Arguments over his networking drinks with agents, jealousy flare. Quelled by late night makeup on fire escapes. July 4th. Backyard barbecue with teams past, Jamal grilling. Mom's era's Congandal stealing show. Fireworks boomed. Daniel's arm around me open. Subtle, but there. Mom pulled me aside. He looks at you like your father did me. Hold on. Mijo. Tears pricked. Dad's ghost nodded. But betrayal's encore lurked. August. Training camp whispers. Daniel's agent pushing clean image. Blind dates with influencers. Photo ops scripted. He confessed over pizza in Hoboken. It's bullshit. But the league. They eat scandal. League. The machine grinding personal to pulp. So what? Parade me as the exception? Sarcasm veiled hurt. He paled. No. I told him. I'm bringing you as my +1 to the draft party. Bold. Risky. Loves gamble. Draft night. Nashville. Opry-adjacent ballroom. Suits starched. Egos inflated. I flew down. Nerves electric. Tux rented. Tie crooked till he fixed it. Fingers lingering. You clean up nice. Reyes. Green room tension. prospects pacing, families clustered. Daniel's name called third round, Eagles cheers erupting, hugs crushing. On stage, helmet donned, but his eyes sought mine in the crowd. Grin for me alone. After party. Champagne rivers. Execs schmoozing. He introduced me. Samuel Reyes, my partner. My receiver. Gasp subtle. But there. Handshakes warmer than expected. A scout clapping back. Heard about that bowl grab. You too, dynasty material. Not all smooth whispers. Side eyes. But Daniel stood tall. Arm around my waist. Claiming us public. High peaked. But crash followed. Tabloids next day. Eagles pick hail. QB comes out with teammate. Spin vicious. Distraction. Risky bet. Calls flooded. His parents, supportive but stunned. Mom crying happy tears over FaceTime. Mine fierce pride. Tia's. Bendito. League brass emailed. Image consultation advised. Daniel raged. But I cooled. We knew. Face it head on. Fallout tested. Hate mail. Blocked. Endorsement dips. But wins mounted. Philly camp buzzing. My ESPN gig covering Eagles preseason. Sideline access a thrill. We navigated. Couples therapy via Zoom, hilarious at first. Profound later. Pride parades hand in hand. NYC's Rainbow Sea washing doubts. Climax crested Thanksgiving, Eagles home game. Sold out. His first start. Pre-game. Tunnel huddle. He squeezed my hand hidden. For us. Kickoff. Magic redux. His bombs to new receivers. But a slant to a vet mirrored our old sync. Win 35-20. Post-game interview. Mike thrust. Dedicate to my family, Mom, Dad, and Samuel, who's been catching my throws since college. Nation heard. Cheers drowned boos. But betrayal's final twist. Locker interview leak. Teammate anonymous. Hales distracted. That boyfriend shit. Team killer. Headline storm. Eagles drama. QB's romance rocks roster. Daniel spiraled, pressers dodged. Throws erratic. I found him post-practice. Turf alone. Ball punted skyward. It's over, he choked. They'll trade me. Rage at the faceless betrayer. Suspected the lineman from bonfire jabs. I knelt. Ball rolling stop. Fuck them. You're more than throws. He collapsed into me. Sobs racking, the golden boy broken. I did this for us, and it's destroying everything. Heart ached. Love's cost ledgered high. We weathered the storm, but not unscathed. The leak traced to that lineman, traded swift by front office. Message sent. Daniel starts wobbled, interceptions creeping. Philly fans fickle with booze raining from the link. Therapy dug deep. Sessions unpacking his internalized crap. The straight armor forged in high school locker taunts. I betrayed you first, he admitted one night. Philly skyline twinkling from our South Street apartment. Sublet splurge. His signing bonus seed. With Brittany, the hiding. Deserved better. Forgiveness flowed easy. Love's currency. Infinite. My ESPN role bloomed. Segments on queer athletes rising. Interviews with Collins. Panels debating the closet's cost. Daniel guested once. Nervous charm winning skeptics. His hand under table on my knee anchor. Public shifted slow. Ally posts from teammates. Glad nods. Even a SNL skit skewering QB crushes with heart. But scars lingered. His sleep haunted by draft night doubts. My anxiety spiking at paparazzi flashes. Winter thawed to spring. Eagles playoff push faltering but pride intact. Off-season. We road-tripped Route 66, his bucket list. My compromise to straight America nostalgia. Corvettes rented. Diners devoured. Motels with neon buzz. Grand Canyon rim. Sunset bleeding red. He dropped to knee, not ring, but promise. Wherever this league takes me, you're the home team. Tears mixed with dust. I pulled him down. Canyon echoing our yes. Summer anchored us. Charity camp in Jersey. Kids wide-eyed at the couple that caught fire. Daniel coaching routes. Me demoing grabs. Laughter healing old wounds. Mom met his folks. Awkward feast in Edison. Pierogies beside Eras. Toasts to family expanded. His sister grilled me on stealing her bro, but hugs sealed alliance. Fall 2026. Training camp grind. But chemistry with new receivers clicked. His reads sharper. Arm vintage. Opener against Dallas. Monday Night Football. Nation watching. Pre-game. ESPN desk. I narrated hype. Voice steady despite butterflies. Kickoff. His first pass. Dart to the slot gain. Drive marching. My heart marching too. Touchdown screen. Him spiking to the back, crowd electric. Halftime. Tied 14-all. He texted from bench. Your voice in my helmet. Magic. Grin split my face on camera. Second half. Defensive stand. Then his bootleg, scrambling. Evading. 20-yard gain. Clock under 2. Down 24-21. Final drive. No huddle. Huddlecombe caught his fire. This is us, fight! Slant to the vet, echo of me. First down. Fade to the corner, touchdown. 28-24 win. Post-game. He yanked me from sideline scrum. Kiss under stadium lights, cameras whirring. Booze drowned by cheers. For you, my caught. Viral instant. Memes minted. The win snowballed. 6 straight. Philly frenzy peaking. Parade dreams danced. But deeper. We bloomed. Date nights at Reading Terminal. Cheesesteaks smuggled to rooftop picnics. Lazy Sundays with Springsteen vinyl spinning. Betrayals ghost faded. Trust rebuilt brick by vulnerable brick. Climax revisited bowl style. But NFC Championship. Against the Rams. SoFi Stadium a Coliseum. Stakes supernova Super Bowl gate. Pre-game rain slick turf. Nerves frayed. Daniel's ritual my jersey under his good luck charm. Kickoff war. Hits thunderous. Score seesawing. Third quarter. Down 17-14. Interception his tipped pass. Booze cascaded. He slammed helmet. Bench slump. Halftime thunder. Coach ripped plays. But Daniel's eyes met mine through glass. Steel resolve. Second half. Turnover forced. Ball to him at midfield. Drive surgical screens. Slants. My voice in his ear via broadcast bleed. You've got this. 75 yards in 8 plays. Field goal tie. Overtime coin. Receive. First play. Bomb deep 60 yards. Receiver untouched. Chip shot kick. 20-17 win. Super Bowl bound. Media maelstrom. Hails heroics. Love lifts Eagles? We laughed over room service. His head on my chest. Our story, he murmured. From Jersey mud to this. I kissed his hair. Wrote it together. Super Bowl Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz cauldron. Halftime usher, his pick. My groan. Week blurred. Pressers. Parties. Us stealing moments in hotel spas, bubbles hiding whispers. Game night. Electric. Chiefs Red Sea versus Philly Green. First half. Defensive slugfest. 10-7 Eagles. Mahomes' magic tied at third. Fourth. Under 4 minutes. Down 24-20. Daniels drive from own 15. Plays etched eternity. Draw for 12. Bootleg 18. Knee brace forgotten. Slant conversion. Red zone. Clock 0:45. Play action fake. His drop, lineman bull rushing. Pocket collapsing. He stepped up. Eyes downfield. Launch. Rainbow arc to the corner. Receiver leaping over DB, touchdown. 27-24. Kneel down win. Confetti Armageddon. Field invasion. Teammates mobbing. Lombardi lifted amid tears. But Daniel broke free. Finding me on sideline, pulling over barriers. Kiss salt sweat sweet under pyrotechnics. We did it, he roared. Cameras immortalized. World shifted. Afterglow. Parade down Broad Street. Millions strong chanting Hail Reyes. White House visit. Biden quip. Caught more than passes. Ha! Off field. Endorsements poured. Nike Love Wins spots. Our faces on billboards from NYC to LA. But humanistic core. Foundation launched. Scholarships for queer youth in sports. Camps erasing closets. Years blurred, his career arc, Pro Bowls. A ring repeat. Mine. Anchor desk rising. Book deal. Crossing lines. A quarterback's heart. Challenges hit. Trades threatened. Media dips. My anxiety flares, but we face tandem. Therapy toolkit sharp. 10th anniversary. Jersey rooftop. String lights original. Beers chilled. He knelt proper, ring simple. Gold band etched with routes. Marry me, Sam? Forever teammate. Tears. Yes. City humming benediction. Epilogue whispers. Kids one day. Surrogacy talks tentative. Mom's grandbabies. His sister's teases. But core unshakable. From that rainy locker grab to this. Love's play called not by coaches. But hearts. America. Flawed colossus. Bent for us. We ran the route. Caught the dream. Humanistic close. Not fairy tale. But earned grace. Betrayal scar faded tattoo. Conflict forged steel. In the end, the line wasn't crossed, it was home.